Oh, okay, everyone. I want to welcome you to Singles Night Thursday. I want to welcome everybody into a night of fun, a night of learning, and hopefully, we can have a little fun along the way. But the first thing I want to say again is to welcome everybody in. Hope everybody has had a great week and that this is a place we come and to share some of the things of God and to move ourselves in a whole new direction. The first thing I want to do, if Shelley, if you don't mind, to open us up in prayer. Hello. Hello.
Miss Shelley, are you there?
I am here. Give me one moment, please. I
Okay.
apologize. I was
No problem.
Were you calling me? I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
Was I supposed to be doing something?
Yeah. I wanted you to open us up in prayer if you don't mind.
Oh, sure. All right. Father God, we thank you once again that we are here in another Thursday night. Hopefully, we are here to learn a little bit more about your precious love, your unforgiving love, your immaculate love, that love that we so want day in and day out of our lives. Hopefully our facilitator tonight, Mr. Joe, will be able to touch on that and be able to just give us another point of view, for some of us, a male point of view. We thank you, God, once again for just allowing us to meet every Thursday night safe and sound. And we just love you. We just want to take this moment to love on you a little bit more. Thank you, God, and have a good night, everyone. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Again, welcome everybody again to a new Thursday night. This whole month, we've been talking pretty much about love, and it's the month of love. We just went through Valentine's Day, and I think that was a day that was different for a lot of people. But in all, we must learn that even in that time or that season, all of us go through different feelings, but through it all, we have to learn to love ourselves. Um, and that's important. That's so very, very important. So tonight, I want to do something a little bit different. I want to do a little bit of a different twist on things. So I welcome and thank you, family. And I'm going to shift things in a different direction. This is what I want to kind of do. I want to kind of invite some friends of mine that may have experienced love, all in different format. And so I want to have a little fun with it. My first friend that we're going to invite into our center tonight, his name is Mr. Elmer Fudd. And I want to do something like what Elmer Fudd would say. I'm going to sound a little bit like him, and hopefully I can kind of mimic him here. He used to say, I'm looking for love in all the wrong way, looking for love. And I'm saying that to say this. At some point in our lives, we were all kind of looking for love and maybe looking in the wrong places. But that was something we did. And then we remember that story. That story has always been around. And my second guest and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. My second friend I want to invite would be Miss Tina Turner. And she would sing the song, What Love Got to Do with It, Got to Do with It. I know I don't sound like her, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. They all have their stories, and we all remember hers. And after I get through the characters, we'll go back and kind of do a little bit of clips from each of their own stories. My next person will be Miss Toni Braxton. And she used to say, love should have brought you home last night. And that was the essence of her story. And we'll elaborate a little bit about that too. And then we have the story. There's a thin line between love and hate. We saw that whole scene with Martin Lawrence and how all that played out. But again, I'm shifting it in a whole different direction. And I'm saying, when we start, I talked a little bit about Elmer Ford and how we used to look for love and all the wrong places, never looking within, always looking outside of us. And that didn't bring us what we needed. So, and again, I talked a little bit about Tina Turner. We understood kind of her whole oil. It was about a young lady that was pretty well a country girl, and she had this great gift. She had a voice, a beautiful voice. She came to the city, got and started out with a group just singing, and out of one night being out, she started to sing. And at that time, Ike Turner and his band was there. And I think she maybe didn't do things the first couple of times, but out of the blue, one night, here comes this beautiful voice. I mean, that kind of set everybody on fire. And we kind of know the story, how, again, she was kind of like, you would say, maybe a sheep in the lion's den, and how such a beautiful person got involved seemingly with a person that had her best interests at heart. And we kind of know, as the story goes, how he started out real nice with her. And through time and winging her and putting her under his wing, he became something that was not so good for her. And I bring that up to say how sometimes things start out great, and all of the good intentions are there, but then the true person comes up. And the reason I'm telling the story is this. This is what I want to bring forward, and I want others to talk about, is how sometimes we think this is that, and it's really not. How love never binds or holds. Love always liberates. And in the story with Tina, we see Ike always want everything to go through him, don't want to be her own person. He's overly protective. I don't call it protective. I think he was the type person that loved control. And with that said, I wanted to see if anybody would have any comments on this particular story. So I wanted to put it out there and say, does anybody have comments on that, or have something to say to the effect of that?
Well, Joe, I'm, I'm trying to eat my dinner, but I got me a little piece of bread over here. But yeah, Ike was you know how, like you said, how relationships, you thought it was this, but it's now that.
Right.
And I do believe that he loved her, but I think that in times when we get involved in relationships, and I can say this for myself, when I got married, I didn't know all the background. I didn't know all the background situations that had gone on in my ex-husband's family. Some of the situations that weren't the ones that you want to testify about. You know, all of the abuse and the molestation that went on in the family. Didn't know all that. So, you know, you get married, or maybe Tina got married to this man and really didn't know that part to Ike. So all she saw is what she fell in love with or got infatuated with. And as they got married and as the relationship formed, and she saw this new man that showed up that was already there, he didn't reveal himself unto her.
Right.
Till a certain point. So yes, he was controlling. He was very mean.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of characteristics about him that, and about people, sometimes they just don't show their true self. You know, they're behind a mask, and when they like got you, like the hook is in your mouth,
Right.
Here comes the real, like the real thing, like, is that Coke or Pepsi? The real thing, here it comes, you know, and you get to see that person. You're already committed, you're already in the relationship, you know, you might have a couple of kids in a house, and here comes the stuff and nobody told you about, and it materializes in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna yield my mic on that. I get this my sandwich. I'll be back.
Yes. So, is there anyone else would like to make comment, please?
You know, hey, Mr. Joe. Listen, when you brought up Tina Turner, it's funny because I used to always, not always, but I always looked at that story, and you know, again, I've always, you know, brought up my relationship issues, and her and I kind of had similarities in it, and I would always say, well, at least I'm Tina Turner. You know, throughout my little trials, I would always say, well, if Tina could do it, I could do it. If Tina did it, I could do it. So it's funny that you brought her up as one of your topics tonight. Ike was something else.
Yes.
You know, and you know, to see a woman of such power, and she was you know, strong in her in what she did. You know, she's just, you know, with her singing and everything with her career. And to watch her have someone just belittle her and put her down and you know, put her through all that. It's just it's amazing what a little bit of self-love just you know, would have gotten her through that. And you know, of course, hindsight is 2020. When you look back at it, I thought about myself, and I was like, just a little bit, just me, just saying to myself, I love you enough that you don't need this. And she could have took her career soaring farther. I believe, you know, if she would have just had enough self-love to let him go. That talent was in her. It's not something that Ike gave her. He might have pushed her, but once she got the taste of it, once she got the hang of it, Tina Turner would have been on fire without it. So, but it all started with just this, with, you know, with her mind, renewing and transforming of the mind. And just a little bit of self-love would have gotten her, you know, through it. So I'm glad you brought her up. I forgot about it.
Well, let me pose another question. Do you think going through all of that made her better?
In the end, yeah. Yeah. In the end, I mean, she, when you go through domestic violence and when you go through that, you know what not to deal with going forward.
Yes,
But
yes,
while you're in it, you are weak. You feel like no one loves you. You just feel it's a lot of emotions that you're going through. But once you're out of it, it's a big lesson. It's like, no one's ever gonna make me feel like that ever again.
yes,
So it
yes, yes,
strengthens you, it makes you stronger, and every test that you go through is a testimony at the end. So, what she went through is now it's a catapult for women across the world. She used her platform. She told her story. It just
yes.
so yeah, it strengthened her. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
So,
and
can I
oh
ask
yeah,
Shelly
yeah,
something?
sure.
Shelly, since you've experienced that, I'm just going to ask it as if you were in Tina's shoes for a minute. Do you feel that she had to get past fear
Yes,
before she could actually step out into her identity?
Absolutely.
Because
There's a healing. Yeah, she had to go through a lot of healing. A lot of healing of the mind and just healing of the body. She had to go through a lot before she got to that place that we see her now. But yeah, a lot of work had to happen. A
yes.
lot of work.
a lot of
Yes.
work. And you know, that's what, so, I mean, Tina, she probably, I'm just thinking because of her notoriety, she probably had more cash or could obtain cash than, the normal, like me, you, just us,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's so important that we have a community like this, or have those that we can talk to, that if we don't
Yeah.
have answers, that we can find someone to help and assist, in those certain times where you need that support. So
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
just going to say that, but I'm going to let Joe go ahead.
But I mean, listening to what you were saying, Shelley, and what you were saying, Faith. It's ironic. This week, I encountered two people that has been under that. Just in my office, and the young lady said that she was in it for a while, and he actually was so vindictive. He started to put things on the credit. He started to belittle her everywhere. I mean, it was like, but now she's delivered. Now, the one
Yeah.
thing that happened with her that I thought was amazing, she can laugh at it now. She knows she's over it. And
Yeah.
from that, however painful it was, she's a better person. And,
Absolutely.
and I think what we learn, and even when we're in situation, and this whole scenario could be reversed, because I've been through something similar to that on the other side.
Hmm.
But even with my own testimony and seeing it from a different perspective, this young lady, who will now be 33, she went through that. She's so much better. She's a minister now, and she's able to talk to others about that situation, the
Right.
things to look for. So she, her own pain is what I'm saying, helps her to help others. And I guess from a man's perspective, I'm speaking of myself, I didn't know all that went on that to that capacity. And there are people that I've learned, and sometimes people they can be comfortable with you and they tell, well, all the bodies lie. And you like, wow, how did But I
Mhm.
think it's come from being comfortable, and it comes from a connection with where you think you're safe with that person. And sometimes that happens. That happens more than you realize. And I think it's eye-opening for me because, again, you never know how much of that go on. You
Mhm.
never know, like Faye said, people wear masks. Some people can be behind a white picket fence and never talk.
Mhm.
But when they go out in public, it's almost they have to put on this persona that
Oh
everything is
yeah.
great. but it's not. It's really not. So anyway, I thought about that, and like I say, I brought her up. I brought Tony Braxton, and and we'll move on to Tony Braxton. What I was thinking about with Tony Braxton was this. She said, "Love should brought you home last night." But my question is this, and I wanted to bring forward: why didn't love bring him home? Or why didn't love bring her home? Was it not there? If he didn't come home or she didn't come home, then there was no love at home, or they had shifted in a whole nother direction. So because if you coming home, you coming home with no hesitation. So I wanted to get a little bit of feedback on that, and then we'll move forward to some others.
I know. I'm gonna jump in real quick. I think Miss Tracy was trying to jump in, but when you brought that up, that brought me to a Pastor Bishop Jakes would always say he probably checked out a long time ago, but his body was there, but his mind, he was checked out a long time ago. It might have been, when you didn't cook his dinner or something, and y'all got into an argument about it, and you didn't resolve that issue. So it could, when a man doesn't do what you want him to do, or didn't, like you said, didn't come home last night. It might have been last night he didn't come home, but he wasn't home. Even though his body was there every other night, he had checked out a long time ago. Okay. It's just now the physical is happening, like he physically ain't there no more. But to get to that point, he had to have checked out a long time ago. Meaning that he was out of that relationship a long time ago. He just didn't physically leave yet.
That's right.
So when you say that, I always think about that. When a man actually does not come home, or he decides to end the relationship, it didn't just happen at that moment. It wasn't just then. He had to have checked out a long time ago. And then you have to figure out, when did he check out? When did that relationship end? Or when did things change that made him not come home, or made her not come home? But it didn't just happen overnight. That's something that happened a long time ago, and it just physically happened again. So that's, like when Bishop Jakes preaches about that, it always makes me look back at some of my past relationships and realize, man, that's when he checked out.
Yes.
It wasn't what we think it is. He just didn't show up last night, or he didn't come over, or he not answering my calls. It's not because of what argument you had last night. It could have been the argument 5 months ago.
That's right.
He had checked out 5 months ago, and you just didn't know. So yeah, wow. I love this, Mr. Joe.
Thank you.
I have someone that I know in Maryland, and my girlfriend called me. It's her cousin, and told me that her cousin and her husband are getting a divorce. And I'm like, what? Because they've been together for a long time, many years. And so she told me that her husband told her that he has not been happy for the last 21 years.
Wow.
21 long years.
Wow.
I could not, I'm like, are you for real? I'm like, is this, 21 years. So I said, I just started to pray.
Right.
Yes.
Because if I were in her in her shoes.
Right.
And my husband told me that he had been happy for 21 years. It's very devastating.
Devastating.
And then you find receipts from jewelry stores, buying expensive jewelry, and it's definitely somebody else. But just the point of that, 21 years, and now you're gonna say something?
Yep, he checked out a long time ago.
And now you want me out the house?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
and now you want to remodel your basement. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, let me close my mic right now. But I mean, you know, it's like, don't you have, I mean, even though you might not have been happy for 21 years, for you to stay that long, it had to been either for security or something that he's getting, right? Well, he was getting it at home, eating good, whatever, and getting something outside the home. So he was double dipping. Okay. So with that, you know, I just pray for her, because I just can't see it. That's hard. That was really hard to swallow.
Right. But you know, Faith, you said something. Let me tell you what you said. He said he wasn't happy. My question is she responsible for his happiness? No.
No, somebody else did. I mean, he was happy. Well, I mean, we're all grown, right? We grown. Right. Are we in the grown folks room tonight? Okay, so he was happy. See, that's the thing. That is the thing, how the enemy comes in.
Yes.
And the wife thinks, oh, everything is okay. You know, even in their intimate time, everything is okay. But homeboy's over there outside doing something else for somebody else, and he's happy over there. That's why he was there 21 years, because he didn't have, you know, he prideful, didn't want nobody to know that their marriage is on the rocks or whatever, trying to look good in front of society or whatever. But that's a lot of pain. I mean, you know, Miss Joe, you have to talk me off the ledge or something. If that happened to me, I would have to say, let me call Mr. Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Joe.
I'll come there.
I'm like, what? Really?
Yes.
Tamara actually said something in the chat, y'all. She said,
come on,
that is, yeah, she said, that is too long to be unhappy. That is sad. Was she happy or perpetrating that he was happy? And then she said, staying for children sometimes too. That is hard.
Yeah, it is. It is hard. But you know, when you think about that, and not judging anybody, but I think you have a sense to some degree when somebody's pulling from you. And that's a true sense. That's a true feeling that you can't deny. So I don't know all the dynamics, and I'm not here to judge anybody, but that's all I can say. That's a long time. But the ultimate thing is, no matter who we are not responsible for somebody else's happiness. We truly not. And I hope in this scenario, and we'll move past this and move on, but I hope she doesn't think that her happiness depended on her. And take that on for herself. Take on something he did, and he comes to tell her he's not happy. The key to the happiness is to be happy. And that comes from a place within a person. You know, if you need anything, your true happiness is who you are and should be in God. And that's, you know, to be happy is a decision to be happy. And anytime I have to depend on somebody else to make me happy, I have not freed myself yet to do that. That's just my thoughts on that, you know.
Absolutely.
Does anybody else have a comment before we move on?
Miss Tracy.
Miss Tracy.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm like Miss Faith. I just finished eating. I had meatloaf. I was in the mood for the meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and green beans. So that's why I was silent for a while.
That's
all right.
Combination right there.
Well, I thought about that. You know, love should have brought you home, and how you talked about this man was married to his wife, and for 20 years he wasn't happy. It brought me to the mind of the movie Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Mm.
You know, being with him 18 years, and he said he wasn't happy all that time. And I looked at her, yeah, she had reason to be angry. How he mistreated her and everything because she had done everything she could do in the marriage. And then when everybody else walked away from him when he was down and out, she was still there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he was kind of getting on with himself and everything, moving around, she said, forgive her. He said, I already forgave you. She said, but I need you to forgive me for this. Is when she handed him the ring back and the divorce papers. It was final.
Yeah.
You know, he was thinking, oh, good, we're going to stay together. We're going to, you know, reunite and everything. But she like, hey, that's a lot of years to give somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just toss you aside for something they think is better. I had a friend of mine tell me one time, she said a lot of times when God gives us somebody or something, he gives us the best.
Mm-hmm.
But we're so busy looking at something or someone we think is better until we pass up, you know, that we had a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think about the man that was married to this woman in 20 years, you know, he wasn't happy. Probably thinking, you know what, she's had kids, she done gained weight, she don't look like she used to look. I said, well, heck, if she's giving you 5 kids, of course not. But you know,
yeah.
And then you getting with some young flip, you spending all your money on her. Then you get with her and you think that, oh, this is the life. Find out the girl can't boil water without it scorching. You miss those home cooked meals, you miss your clothes being ironed, you know, the things you took your woman for granted for.
Wow.
And everything. And then think you can go back. But I think about Tina Turner too.
Yeah.
Tina learned her self-worth.
That's right.
And I think when a person truly learns their self-worth, they don't go through all that anymore. They can love you, they can forgive you, but they moved on to bigger and better things. And I have a problem with it, you know, with my ex. My thing was, I was 24 when I met him and dated him and married him. He's my first everything, first boyfriend. First, I didn't even date in high school because I was like the nerd and all that type of thing. So I was made fun of a lot as a teen. And then when I met him, I didn't know any better. I didn't know any different. That was the first thing I was exposed to. So I really had nothing to compare it to. But once I decided I don't want to be with somebody mistreating me because I went through domestic violence and it got to a point he got physical with me. And I hurt him pretty bad because I didn't realize how hard I hit him and knocked him unconscious and had a hard time bringing him to. Not many people know about that.
Right.
But that right there let me know. I said, God, when you said till death do us part, you didn't mean it like this. I said, one of us has got to go, or one of us is going to be living here in a pine box. And it wasn't going to be.
Yeah.
So you know, it took a lot. It took a lot of courage with me. I said, well, since I'm doing everything, I was paying for the apartment. I had the job. He didn't want to get a job. He wasn't going to get a job. Then I said, you got to go. I packed up his stuff. And when I did that, you name it, things started happening for me. People who wanted to help me helped me. She said I would have done it, but because you were with him. And over time, I still went through some bumps in the road. But at the age I am now, looking back on it, I said, Lord, I thank you for the lessons from the heartaches.
Yeah.
Because now nobody can come in my life and do that to me.
Yeah.
Unless I allow them to do it. Because like Tina, I learned my self-worth. And if a guy is really interested in me and, you know, thinks I'm worthwhile, he's going to treat me like I'm worthwhile.
That's right.
But I'm working on my career. I'm working on getting back in the classroom to teach, and I'm working on my business. So I've got plenty to keep me occupied, whether a guy's in my life or not.
Miss Tracy, thank you for that. That
yes,
just touched my soul just now. I don't know what it is. You said that was your first time actually saying that out loud. How you feel?
Yes.
Oh, a whole lot better now. But during that time,
awesome. That's
during
awesome.
that time, though, I mean, I always had self-esteem issues because how I was treated as a kid.
Yeah.
So it took years for me to see myself the way God sees me
Wow.
Wow,
Beautiful.
that's, yeah, it
and
is.
Sorry,
everything.
Mr.
So,
Joe, I'm
Yeah.
interrupting
No,
again.
no, that's fine. That's the way we
so
want to, and even in Tina's story,
mhm,
she had to go within herself
mhm,
to find the true self. I mean, I forget what she started to do. I know she did a lot of meditation and other things, but she was going within the innermost, finding out, like we all do at some point in time, and want to know that nothing outside of me is that person talking to themselves, is greater than what my Lord and Savior put in me. That dignity, that your DNA is something no other person can take from you. And once you learn that, the things and dictates of man don't faze you anymore, because you are in tune from that for which you come from. And you know that. It's like at the end of that situation with her, he put a gun out. She says, now she's pretty well said, I've been through that. What else you got?
mhm.
I've been hit with that. So if you're gonna kill me, go and shoot me. And he was shocked. At the end, she became the person that God wanted her to be. And I think through all of what we go through, of any of us, we come here. Tracy shared her story. We all share that because we at a different place. The one thing we learn, and sometimes when you mess up in relationship, people don't stay where they were. If you stay where you are, you stuck. But when you move from that place and come into the totality of who you are, you totally different. There's no fear factor. What else can you do to me that you haven't done to me? And I think we learned that. And so, is there any other comments before I move on to the next section?
I just want to say one more thing. Dealing with
Okay.
Tina, when I looked at the movie and her and I got in a fight in the limousine and she ended up
Yeah.
jacking him up. I think, when he finally went on the couch and went to sleep and she ran out that hotel,
Yes.
she made up her mind then and there, no more.
No more. That's right.
And then when they were in divorce court and he was talking about all this stuff he had and everything, and she literally walked away with nothing
Yes. Yes.
but her name. That's
Right.
the confidence she had finally got in herself. Hey, I can make it without all that stuff. I can make it, with the name, because she worked hard for it.
Yes. That's true.
And she'd been dancing and singing ever since.
Ever since.
Right? She's still
Yes.
rolling down the river, right? She's
Yeah.
she's still rolling. But I wanted to say thank you, Tracy, for sharing.
Yes. Thank
I
you,
really
Tracy.
appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And I see the great woman of God that you
Yes.
are.
Yes.
To
Yes.
be
Yes.
able to
Yes.
share your story. It's so many women and probably men too that need to hear your story. So I mean, be proud of where God has brought you. I know you are, but just be proud of where you are. I just commend you for sharing that.
Yes. Yes. And we'll move on. And I was telling the story of a thin line between love and hate, kind of a whole nother spin. In this particular situation, we have Martin Lawrence, kind of a playboy, goes out, sees this lady in the club or whatever. The lady looks totally flawless on the outside. I mean, and so I think he first made his move on her and she wasn't favorable with it. So he came back a second time. He get involved. This is a picture of the perfect woman, seemingly. Great career, big house, success in the sense of the world. And I'm going somewhere with this. Oh, got all these thrills. And so finally they get to the setting, because he's excited about that. And he, I think he even made some deal with his friends that, he was gonna get with her in an intimate setting. Did all that. And she got kind of involved with him and started to like him. So one night he doesn't show up. I think it may have been a birthday. I'm not sure what it was. She waited and waited. He never showed. And she got madder and madder. So this seemingly together woman who had real severe issues that wasn't important to him found out the true her through, we saw the scene where she was cutting the cake up and all of that. That wasn't enough. She wanted to get after him and get revenge because she felt like she gave a part of herself to him that he mistreated or took it for granted, however that may be to her. So the true her surfaced to the point she kidnapped him and she did other things to make his life horrible. But where am I going with this? I'm going with this to say, people can be all dressed up. The lights are on, but ain't nobody home. And you have to be careful about that. Because seemingly, but again, you say, did he get back what he gave out? Pretty much. But again, that's kind of, and I'm saying all these to lead in another direction, and we'll get there. But you see the dynamics here of how we look for love in all different places, situations, seemingly this, seemingly that. So a thin line between love and hate. I would ask, what do you all think about that situation? Any comments on that?
I have one.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I got a couple.
I looked at that movie and it was a guy I was seeing at the time. He got so upset and offended because after I spent time with him, and that was when I broke the relationship off because it was time to break it off. Have you ever been around a man that gets off on playing head games?
Oh, what?
Head games.
Mm,
And in this movie, that was what Martin was doing with this woman.
yeah.
And even when they were in the throes of passion, she told him, hey, her husband cheated on her, he was abusive, and she killed him. But that didn't stop him from doing what he was doing. Because
Right.
she did tell him, hey, you messed me over. This is what I do to you.
That's right. Yes.
And things. And I look at how people think they're getting over playing mind games with people, telling them this and telling them that. And of course, he got upset with me, and he made the mistake of trying to run me down to a friend of mine, and she let him have it. And her aunt let him have it. He said, you mad at Tracy because Tracy figured you out. And I said, I don't need nobody playing head games with me. He thought he was so smart and an intellectual that I wouldn't have enough sense to figure it out. Right. And I said, you don't like this movie because this movie is about a man like you. Because he was so, if this woman is wrong, she making his life hell. I said, well, look at what he did to her. you know, because she was thinking she was, you know, getting in a genuine relationship. And even on the bet, he didn't win the bet because the bet was you have to get her to fall for you without saying, I love you.
Yes, yes, yeah,
So
yeah.
and when she asked, do you love me? And he's like, well, heck, if I'm gonna get it, I better just lie and say, yeah, I love you.
Right, right,
And he
right.
got way more than he bargained for.
That's right. That's right. That's
But
right.
she wasn't stable.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She wasn't all the way there. So
Mm-mm.
I think that would have happened to any guy.
Yes, yes.
Any guy that would have done the right things and really truly loved her. She was unstable.
Very.
She was unstable. Her mind, you know, that mind, I'm telling y'all, you know, we don't take care of what's going on in here, everything else falls apart.
That's
So
right. That's
she was
right.
unstable. She handled that in an unstable way. For someone who in that movie, you know, that had the right look and the right wallet and the right job and the right house.
Yes.
She had everything that society says we're supposed to have, and she had
Yes.
it in abundance.
Right.
But yet, you can't keep a man and you can't be stable in your mind.
That's right.
What the rest of us gonna do? You know, that we don't have any of that stuff or half of what she had. You know, so that movie really was. I remember when it came out. I think I watched that thing probably 10 times
Oh,
because
okay.
I could not fathom how she became so cray cray over a guy. Guys play those games all the time. Let's be real. No, that he didn't play a game that was unfamiliar to everybody.
No, that's right.
You know, it is what it is. And for her not to see it coming and then to act that way was kind of she was unstable.
Yes.
That's what not taking care of yourself mentally looks like. That's what that looked like.
Yes,
Crazy.
that's right. Any other comments? Okay.
I didn't see that.
Go ahead.
So I can't really, I can't
Oh,
really
okay.
sound to. If this is movie night, I don't.
It's a good one.
What's the name of the movie?
The
Thin line between love and hate.
Love and hate.
Martin
Yeah.
Lawrence and Bobby Brown.
And
Okay.
Lynn Whitfield,
Oh, okay.
Queen of Evil.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Faye's black card until she watched that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Robin. I'm glad.
Yes.
You too, Robin. I'm gonna
Thank
take
you,
your
Robin.
card.
We need to get together, have a movie night, get the popcorn.
I'm telling you, that movie's amazing, y'all.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I gotta see it. I guess where would it be now since it's an old movie, right?
You probably go to
BET
Walmart
is-
and buy it for $3 or $5 on a DVD.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a
BET
while.
might still play it. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because Della Reese was his mama and she tried to warn him
Oh
too.
my.
Oh, Stella Reese, oh, that is-
Yeah.
in
I
there.
think,
Robin said, "Oh my."
Yeah. I think Regina King was in it too. She was in that
Yes,
movie.
Regina King was
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. Okay.
All of our famous black actors, they were in there.
Mhm. Okay, when I initially started the conversation tonight, I said, you know, our topic is teach me how to love. And my next thought is this: teach me how to love. Who is this teacher we're talking about? Is the teacher yourself? Is the teacher the world? Is the teacher another person? Is it the teacher the Bible? Is the teacher the Holy Spirit? There are many teachers around us, but the question is, really, are you teachable? Are you being taught only things that are earthly value? My question is to you, whoever the you are, who is your teacher? It's a question that we must ask ourselves personally. And that's a question I pose even unto myself, to all that's on the phone. Or not on the phone, I'm sorry, on the Zoom meeting. Who is this teacher for you? That's a question I'm posing. So I say to each and every one that willing to maybe say or expound on it, who is the teacher for oneself?
I think for me, I know who the teacher used to be. It wasn't God. It was whoever, but now the teacher, I mean, that's a prayer that I do pray, Lord, teach me how to love. I want to love like Christ loved. I want that kind of love in any relationship.
Yes.
And then also, I believe you teach other people how to love you by how you carry yourself, by how what you will accept, what you won't accept, what you will stand for, what you won't stand for. So in that sense, it would be me teaching someone else how to love me. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So Robin, what you're saying then, your teacher is God.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah.
So I reference him, which is the epitome of love, and I allow that in me so I can give it out to someone else. That's what I'm hearing, correct?
Yes.
Anybody else?
Well, for me, I think it's God. I think it's the Holy Spirit. And I think it could be examples that, I see, that I see the type of love that I desire to have. I mean, we might not have a laundry list of those types of people, but
right.
I do believe God will bring people into our lives that you see them live, and you will say, oh, I would like that. Or, it gives you like a menu if you're going to the restaurant of choices, that you would like to be entreated. But I also feel, and I'm saying for me, is that I've learned how to love me more and love others better based on experiences that I've had that were not the best experiences of love. Because that's from those experiences that you have or you have gone through in relationships. I believe that from those teachable moments in the relationship, then you can make those decisions of what you would accept and not accept, from those experiences. So I do believe on our journeys, of life, that those life experiences will teach us what we desire and what we don't desire to have. And then we can then make, I guess, decisions or determinations if somebody comes into our lives and develop a relationship from the experiences that you have with that person. You can start having like a checklist. Check, nope.
Yeah.
Check, nope. You start making those determinations, and then you can have communication and say, hey, I don't like this. And then you have to have a voice.
Yes.
To say if they love you, they will honestly listen to you and listen to your heart. And if they really care, then they would hopefully make some changes or then direct their love in a different way that is authentic and intentional, because that's what you need, and then you hear them for what they need, because we might not be, doing what they desire. So, it's a give and take. So
faith, is that fact finding, or gathering data? You say a checklist.
I keep data going. No, no, for real. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
you whatever, because as your relationship evolves, then you get more data because you just don't experience the same thing over and over again, right? So as you have different situations that come in your life that might not be all happy and good, it might be some hard places that might not be between you and that person. It could be maybe your family or your children or something. And when you start to develop your relationship, then you start to care about those things that impact you, that might not have any responsibility for the other person, but they care. And if they care and they love you, then they want to see what's best.
Yes. Any other comments? No one else? And basically, Faith, what you're saying, I think you have to not be walking around with blinders on, and you have to really pay attention. I think one of the things that now is present moments. Be in tune to the now, and to even be fully present where you are, and be conscious. Be conscious in the present moment of what's happening. Because I think sometimes we wish we was in another situation or whatever. Whatever's happening to you now, you on your path. And it's not always the sweetest, but it is what it is. And wishing to be somewhere else is not changing that. So I think we have to adapt and move into the direction we want to go. My next topic would be, not topic, but the thing that I wanted to talk about is this: falling in love, being in love. True love is the depth of the false self. We love to fall in love. To fall in love, you have to take risks, changing yourself from this person. You have to let go of who you thought you were before you love this person. You're giving them power to change you. You don't give your partner the power to change you in a positive way, of course. I do not think you love them. Your unconscious knows, your soul knows that that's your soul. So my question is, we talk about love, we talk about loving another person. Can we love enough to give ourselves to that other person? To allow that person to be loved by you? It's a lot to give yourself to someone else, but it's a risk. So are you willing to take that risk? Or what makes you take that risk? That's my question. What makes a person takes that risk for someone else? Any comment?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. I think I'm still in that place where I'm just now starting to just accept me. And I think that's why I'm still here, because I'm just now loving myself, no matter what skin I'm in and what's going on. I'm loving the changes that God is doing to me. So for me, I think that love that I'm starting to feel for myself, that's what I want that other person to, what is the word? Enhance, like make it better. Right. I already got it. I'm getting it, and I already got it. So for me, it's just that person has to make me better. or at least, you know, add on to where I'm at. But I think starting with loving yourself, loving God, loving who he's making you to be, all
Right.
of you, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Like once you are in tune with that, once you love that, and I always say once you like it, because you gotta love it. But once you actually like yourself, like I like myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't mind hanging out with myself. You know, I think I'm funny. I think I'm hilarious. You know what I mean? So once I started liking every part of me, um, anything that comes to me right now is gravy. You know, it's just gonna be better. So I don't know what that will look like, but I know what it would feel like. It needs to feel like how I'm feeling now, which is about myself. So if you don't like anything about yourself at all, like if you don't like you, anybody's going to be able to pour into you and make you, you know, manipulate you like putty. So that's why I said I really don't know yet, because I'm just now loving me and I'm liking it. Like I
Yes.
don't want
Yes.
anybody messing around with it right now.
Right. Right.
You know? Yeah.
Well, you know, it's kind of a saying, and people I've heard some authors, I've heard some poets, I've heard some philosophers say there's a certain thing called a dark night. And you say, well, Mr. Joe, what does that mean? What is that? That dark night is kind of where you were saying, Shelley. And I think it happens to all of us. That dark night is where you coming out of a false self into the true self. But in that space, you're not still with the false self, but you're not totally with the true self yet. So it's a dark area. And in that, it's scary, if that makes sense. It's a place where I'm losing the false self to get to the true self. But I'm not in either one. I'm kind of in that in between. That's called that dark night. And I think that happens for all of us, especially when we are getting to the conscious person. It's kind of like we was talking about last week when we was talking about Bishop Long and all of that. And then at one point, you, not putting you on the spot, but you saw it one way, then you came back and saw it another way. And that's kind of like going between two worlds, if I'm making sense here. And it is, it's a place for all of us when we are changing and allowing that unfolding. And I think this is basically what this is talking about here. So we all go through that, but you know you're changing for the better. And then you say, well, how you know? You love yourself when you're by yourself. You don't feel, you know, I know we in this season, and like I was saying earlier, we went through Valentine's Day, you know, but there is a such thing as loneliness and being alone. They're not the same thing. You know, loneliness is a place where you don't feel like no one loves you. You just in that place. And sometimes we all go through that, but you have to get to that point to know thyself and to love thyself. And again, I might be repeating myself, but this is that place. This is that place, I think, where we're talking about here. And I think, again, we all can kind of relate to that. So does anybody else have any comment?
Well, I'm trying to walk with you with this, and I'm trying to I hear what Shelly's saying, and she's in that place where she really, really is enjoying this season, like where she's at. And I'm a speak it bonically. She don't want nobody, no one, nothing, nobody to mess with her in this season. And I see you, Shelly. I see you in the middle of a circle. And I see a lot of protectiveness around you. You know, like, I'm not gonna say walls, I'm gonna say pillows. Soft, you know, they're not total walls, but they're pillows, you know. And you know, I don't know why I'm going in this direction, Lord knows.
Go ahead.
But it's times in those seasons where something unexpected will happen. And what I mean by that is that Mr. could come in at that time. And that's why I think I saw the pillows, because when you can, you know, somebody can get through pillows, you know, to the middle, but they can't get through the wall. But I see pillows there. And, you know, and sometimes in our most vulnerable times, because you have some vulnerability there, because you don't want nobody to mess with your stuff. Don't mess with my stuff right now. But you're secure of where you are. And sometimes, you know, that's where Mr. Right comes right on in.
I receive it.
Oh, you do. I'm glad you receive it. I'm happy you receive it. And then those other areas in which, you know, when Joe's talking about that gray zone there. I'm not gonna say dark. I'm gonna say gray. Is that okay? I'm gonna say gray. Like the color I got on is gray. It's almost black, but it ain't black. It's gray. It's gray. It's like in that gray zone where that compliment comes in to your life and helps you get to that wholeness.
Yes.
You know, because I truly believe that, and I think we kind of talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago, that I don't believe you have to be 100% healed to be in a healthy relationship.
Yes.
I don't think we totally get to that perfection. I mean, you could, but I'm just saying, I don't think everybody will get to that place. And that healing might just be that relationship to bring you to where God wants you to be. And then if you are healed, that's 100 good. I said, you know, I'm happy for you to be in that healthy place and to be totally healed, to be ready. But I haven't seen totally healed. I haven't seen anybody totally healed, because I don't know where they've been, number one. Yes. And I'm not judging anybody if they are not, but I'm just saying, as far as I'm concerned, because like we talked about triggers, you know, you think you healed and then somebody does something to you and triggers you like that, then are you healed? No. Or do you just work through that trigger to know what that feels like and you know how to handle it?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it boils down to trusting. Are you ready to be transparent? Are you ready to put your big toe in the water and kind of to see if the water's warm or cold, or, you know, whatever the temperature is. And then trusting, because you got to trust. And I know if I've been hurt before, and I'm like, I know how it feels, because my heart was like not feeling it. I was not feeling that. I don't even want to have no relationship. I was just closed off. But when your heart you start to feel your heart again. You start feeling that tenderness. And that's not for someone. You just feel it. You know, it didn't have to be about nobody else. just you and God. And then you start feeling that tenderness again, then are you ready to embrace someone else and deal with, whatever comes? It's about faith as well, trust, faith, all that, love. What is love? Yeah, at my age, it's like, do I like you? Do I like you? I like you. I like to be around you. When I got married at 22, I thought I was like drop dead in love. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was in love. I don't even know if I was in love. I was infatuated. I was lust or whatever.
Right.
It's just that first experience, and I haven't felt that way before. Just to be honest, I haven't felt like that. And I don't even know if that was healthy, what I was feeling. But I think I'm more sound now. And I am at a place where, to be able to share and open up and talk and be able to enjoy and like to be. I've been in love with somebody, I didn't like them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like them. I loved them, but I didn't like them, so I didn't like where he was. I didn't like where he has grown, what he grew to. I didn't like his posture at that time. So, we were married, but I didn't like him like that. I didn't. I mean, not for a while. So people change. People change as they get older or whatever, go through situation, they change. And either we embrace their changes and walk with them through it, or if it's a little bit too much for you, you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision if that's what you want. That's what I see it.
I appreciate what Faith said earlier. I'm gonna piggyback a little bit. I think it's the peace that I have.
Yes.
I don't want nobody messing with that peace.
No.
And I think a lot of us don't want that. You're comfortable, especially when you're in the season where you're enjoying your singleness a lot. You're, for the first time in forever, I can travel when I want to, go where I want to, eat what I want to, wear what I want to. I have a dog. He didn't want a dog. I got a dog now. Just these little things.
Yeah.
But my peace, I paid a lot for it. And so anybody that's deciding to come into my life cannot disturb that, will not disturb that.
Yes.
And I think the pillows that Faith was talking about that surrounded me, I feel it every day.
Yeah.
And that's that confidence. It's not arrogant. I'm not boasting. I'm not bragging. But when you have the joy of the Lord inside of you and that light, when he has ignited something inside of you that's been dead for so long, it might come off as arrogant and it might come off as I know it all or whatever, but it's that peace, that self-love. I enjoy myself. Right. I can sit here all day. I work from home and I pretty much do everything now at home. Today when I went to the vet with my dog, even when you were saying earlier, you have to show people how to love you.
Right.
You have to show people how to treat you and your loved ones as well.
Yeah.
And that's also a form of love, because if you out here just yelling at your kids and cussing at the dog and they're gonna treat them like that.
That's
and
right.
I don't want to see my loved ones getting treated like crap either. So I have to show people how to love them, how to love me. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
Love takes a lot of work, and you have to, but it starts with yourself.
Yes.
So the minute I walk out this door, everybody is going to know how to love me, how to handle me, because I will let you know how to handle me, because I paid the cost already.
Yes.
So I'm not going to pay it again. I don't want to go through that toll booth one more time. So if it means me being single for a little while longer to get someone that will appreciate it and acknowledge the fact that this woman done been through enough. I'm not even gonna do her like that.
Right.
Even when I decided I was gonna go with Bobo down the street, even Bobo was like, "Nah, man, you too good for me."
Yeah.
That's that pillow.
Right.
That's that pillow. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. And hearing what you're saying is this, Shelley, and giving tribute for a moment to the gardeners of our heart, this Black history. Maya Angelou said this: there's a place when in each and every one of us that no one, no brother, no sister, no husband, no lover, get chance to violate. You are saying, I've stepped to this, and if you come here, I'm gonna tell you, get back. Because you do not get to talk to me any kind of way. You do not get to treat me any kind of way. And the reason being is that place is the oneness that you have with your Heavenly Father. That's where you are. And you value that. You step into that. And I think, to me, a person that comes to you have to be growing themselves, because commonality can be seen in other people. Love can be exuded from you, even with your countenance, even as you walk. You said something about confidence. See, the spread of confidence is better than the circulation of money. Or the circulation of confidence is better than the circulation of money. Because with confidence, it comes from within that person. Courage and all comes from that, to be the best you that you're supposed to be. Not anybody else, just Shelley coming in too. And I think that's a place that we all should have a yearning. It's a yearning within all of us that has a connection with the Heavenly Father. And once you get into that, you don't want to move from that. You want to live from your heart. I think there's an openness. And when we open up our heart to the things of God, He pours His love in us, and we're open for that. We're a vessel of love. And that's kind of the direction. This love thing, and I don't want to call it a thing, but it's nothing you can contain. Love, it always expands. You can't contain something that expands, that is so much bigger than you. And I say all that, this is kind of what the section we're in, and the month we're in is all about love. Anybody else have any more? Go ahead.
Excuse me. I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
So, teach me how to love, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so from a man's perspective, when you're in a relationship and you're in that place where you really like that person, everything is great, chemistry, all that, and you're just saying that love is a capacity. That you have to give love capacity to grow, right?
Right.
Okay. So with all that said, I kind of hear like a recipe going on in my head, like a spoonful of this and a cup of that and a sift
Right,
this
right.
and an egg or two, mix it up. Where does true commitment come in that recipe? Commitment to the relationship. When you can love somebody all day, but as we've heard, like Bishop Noel Jones and his girlfriend, it took him 25 years to ask her.
Where was you at
marry
last week?
him. I was in Norfolk, Virginia last Thursday. That's why I wasn't with you all.
Yes, it was juicy, girl.
Okay,
Yeah.
I had to. Is the replay out there?
Yeah.
I gotta go hear the replay. But
It was good. Yeah.
when is the commitment to the person and to the relationship go? I mean, I know that's just one situation. Probably had some others last week, and I'm sorry I'm going there. I wasn't there last week.
That's okay. Go for it. Go ahead.
But
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, when does the light bulb or the switch go up to commitment? How long does that take in order for that to manifest?
I guess the question, when you say commitment, are you talking to marriage or committed to the relationship? You talking about
all that. I'm talking about
all that.
I'm talking about commitment. Okay, you have a commitment to the relationship. How long? I mean, how long? I know everybody's an individual, and I know every relationship is different. But how long does a woman have to, if you're doing it God's way, it says a man defines, right? How long do you have to wait until that commitment? And it seems like it should be a line somewhere that says, okay, 5 years, 4 years, when does that click off in his head? This is the one.
Good question.
When does that happen? That's your question, is when does that happen? That, and each person, that's different. I think, even when we go back to the scenario last week, it's the spiritual. I think it's a spiritual growth that has to be happen between the person, both individuals. And and the thing is, growth there. I think it has to be growth with equals. And what I mean is, I should be able to have conversation. I should be able to conversate with you in the spiritual realm that says, I'm going to push you to your highest level, and I'll allow the same for you, because equals, we're going to make this work. I don't think, we talk about unequally yoked. I think that has so much value, because I allow you to be the best you can be. So the other part comes along. I don't know if it's a timeline, because when this gets to that point, wherever that is with that person, however they do it, I think that's the individual's decision. It's kind of like, we was talking about that with Noah Jones. It happened, and
25 years.
25 years. That's too.
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I ain't waiting for nobody for 25 years. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I mean, I don't care who it is.
Even if God is telling you, even if he's telling you to wait.
I don't think he's gonna tell me to wait 25 years. I really don't. I just don't. I don't think God would tell me to sit there and wait 25 years.
25
long time.
Childbearing years too.
I didn't hear you. You said what?
Those were her childbearing years too.
That's the best years of your life.
I know. She gave it all.
25 years. I mean, I'm 62. I don't know if I got 25 years. You see what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Probably why he went on and proposed to her, because heck, another woman wouldn't have stuck it out that long.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's just, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting away. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask I mean,
of
and
anybody.
it is between the two people, because
Right.
maybe both of them at one point say, hey, we're just gonna be in this relationship, we're gonna be friends and we're gonna be companions, but neither one of us want to be married. Okay, that could have been the situation for maybe 20 of the 25 years. I don't know where that
Yeah.
is, but I mean, that could have been,
Sure.
and I'm just like, I just don't feel that we should hold, and I'm not saying we as we, I'm saying generally speaking, I don't think we should hold people up.
Yeah.
If you feel like, if like Marilyn has said, she is looking for marriage, okay, and she's upfront with that. She'll say, this is what I'm looking for. If you ain't looking for that and I'm looking for that, then we ain't a match. That's unequally yoked, right? But don't say you are, and then you have me sitting over here waiting in the corner or whatever for 3 years, 2 years or whatever, and then I get anxious or antsy about it, and then all of a sudden it's like, well,
I guess I'll go on ahead and marry you now.
I guess I'm ready now, or no, I don't think I'm gonna marry,
It's almost like Gina and Martin when she was saying either he wanted to marry her after being together so long, or she took a job in New York. He was talking about, I guess you got me now. Will you marry me? Damn. It was like, and, that was the attitude of it. She said, thank you for the proposal. Now I got a plane to catch.
Yeah.
Wow.
It takes two though. It takes two though.
Yeah.
We don't know what her mindset was. Again, just like that movie Joe was bringing up, we don't know what her mindset was. She could be just as cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and just thought this was the best deal in town.
Yes.
The Bishop know she wasn't gonna get no better, and so whatever he wanted to, however long it was gonna take, she was willing to wait because in her mind nobody else wants her. So she, who knows?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we got two leaders in the church that waited 25 years to get married.
Yeah.
Two?
Yeah, she was also in the church. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like a pastor or whatever. Like,
well, he's a bishop over a church, so I'm just Yeah, he's a leader over people. This is
right. I thought you meant it was another man who did the same thing.
No.
Two leaders.
No. Yeah. Both of them.
Just somebody have a question in the chat box?
Oh, let me see. I'm so sorry, y'all.
No, it's okay.
Faith just brought me back to last week. Hold on. This is
That sounds like a hostage situation.
I thought I saw something go across the screen. Maybe I did.
Oh yes. Fabiola said it sounds like a hostage situation where she developed Stockholm syndrome. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. That might have been what it was. Who knows?
That was done by Fabiola.
Yeah, Fabiola said that.
And you know what? That commitment thing is not just on the man's side. I mean, commitment for both people. I mean, I don't want to sound like it's a teeter-totter and it's all on the man, but it can be both. And and I do believe that when you're in a relationship, you just don't give 50-50. It's 100-100.
Yes, it is.
Period. I agree.
Yeah. Any more comments?
I would just like to
Turn
say,
it up. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's all
Tamara
good.
got her mic open. I think Tamara wanted to say something.
Okay.
Well, everything, I'm just agreeing with everything. And then just when it comes down to the, even talking about the commitment thing, I was like, wow, when I heard that last week, I wasn't able to join in, but to me, the importance in that commitment, but also, like Shelley was saying, I love myself. So I expect that man to love himself. So that's gonna be that 100 and 100. But also, when we're around each other, I'm gonna listen to what he's saying. Is he really matching up, or is he just, you know, is it perpetrating? Like I put in the text that thing, perpetrating meaning they acting like it, but they're not really feeling it. They're not really in it. They just want to act like they committed. And so, you know, just and I know there's a, you know, discernment, but that's that, you know, just trying to make sure, you know, just like Shelley's saying, I've learned, but I love everyone. And I've learned to not take, you know, not to be on the offensive, but also I've learned that wisdom that sometimes people play games. And so that's what I'm to, you know, very observant, but then, you know, it's like, that's where I think I am, right? I'm free and I can go places, be by myself. And, you know, I know the Lord's with me. I'm never by myself, but the things that are fun. And I was telling my daughter that I like to dance. When I was married, he didn't know how to dance. So I didn't dance. Okay. And then and my personality, I was still kind of the same, you know, I was quiet, but yet talkative, you know, and like to laugh, but didn't laugh so much with it. So it's like, when you learn your lesson about allowing a person, you don't want to change for that person where they take you down.
That's right.
Like you said, you want to go up. If I'm already up, well, I'm going to expect that person to enhance me.
Right.
Yes, enhance me. I want to laugh. I want to, you know, it's just so much more. I don't want to just sit up here, you just sit up here just all serious all the time and want to talk about the news. You know what? I like updates. Come on, let's watch something that's uplifting. But to me, marriage is a teamwork. And a lot of times, and that's another thing that's important, you know, when it comes down to 100 and 100, it's teamwork. I'm going to encourage his vision. He going to encourage my vision.
Amen.
And usually the visions work together. So it's not going to really be going opposite directions. So those are just my thoughts of when it comes down to love and being committed. I think when you walk in the same direction and you have those compatible, still got things you're going to sometimes have to compromise, you know, but you work through it. But
yes, that makes yes.
Love that. Love it.
Right. You know, it kind of leads into my next thought is this. Spiritual partnership is a partnership between equals for the purpose of spiritual growth. If that other person is growing up too, it is mutual. You push each other to your fullest potential. Love has to expand. But what love is expanding for you? Human love varies and changes. Spiritual love never changes but varies. Divine love never changes and never varies. That's the love from our Heavenly Father. It never changes, never varies. But human love, say I could love you tonight, you give me flowers in the morning, you wake up and say, your breath stinks. I don't love you anymore. And that's going from high to low. And that, I love you when you give me gifts. And that's manipulative love. You know, and I think we can kind of look at all of that and pick that. And you can see that. You've seen it. Spiritual love never changes but varies.
Yeah.
But divine love, again, I know I'm repeating myself, never changes and never varies. So the part, even to me, was saying the part of spiritual partnership So Shelley, if somebody comes into your situation, they got to be doing what you do willingly.
Or willing, right? There you go.
Willingly.
Yep.
And I think Marilyn mentioned it a lot on one of the sessions with how even a marriage can pull you down rather than pull you up, because it becomes kind of competition where maybe the husband don't want the wife to outshine him or vice versa. And that, to me, what is that about? That ain't what this, I mean, for me to want to pull you down, is that showing love? No, that is selfishness. That don't look like love. So what we're saying here, and I think all of us are saying, is there's got to be some common elements here for us to really understand each other. When I can see in Shelley what I have in me, you can recognize that.
Yeah.
Because you see it. You know what that looks like. And then if I'm not getting that, you know it's not there. That's, I mean, some things just cut and dry. All the water do not mix. It's just like that. They're not common elements. And it's simple as a turn. Go ahead, Shelley.
I can go on a date. I've been on dates with someone, and we've had conversations over the phone. Everything was clicking over the phone. And the minute we actually meet, you know, it's dead. There's nothing there. It is, I mean, you'll know.
Yeah.
You know, and because of where I am, like I said, in my peace that I am, I don't need to challenge that. I don't need to second guess that. I don't need to say, well, I'll go on another date and see, maybe it was a fluke. Maybe, you know, he wasn't his best self. I just know. I just know without a shadow of a doubt, you're gonna bring drama to my life. You're gonna bring some things that I don't want. I'm not ready for. And that's okay. You know, because when the right one comes, I honestly believe I will know, it will match my peace. It will enhance my life. I will absolutely know, because God wants the best for me.
That's right.
And that is why he has me in this place, in these sessions, you know, for the last year, to gain back my strength, my confidence, and now to show others. That's the twist for me. You know, I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be telling my story publicly to strangers, and then helping them walk their walk, watching them walk their walk,
right,
and me walking with them, we're going through this together.
Yes.
A lot of these women, I haven't heard them open up, you know, all year. And the last couple of weeks, they have been opening up.
Yes.
And I just sit back quietly and I go, but God.
Yes, that's
it's
right.
a healing. Tonight, I saw Tracy's healing. I saw it. Whether she wants to admit it or not, the minute she said, I have never said this out loud to anybody.
That's right.
That's what these sessions are about. Because last year, I said that last year.
Yes.
Saying, I've never said this out loud. And once you let the devil know that you ain't scared, and I said scared, that you ain't scared no more,
right,
that you are ready to talk your talk, tell your testimony, the doors are going to start opening up.
Yes.
That peace is going to start coming in.
Yes.
That joy is going to start coming in. You might even fool yourself and say, I don't need this session no more. I love me. I got it. Trust me, I've been there, done that. I came right back.
Right.
That's just one little piece of the puzzle that is for you to open up. Once you open up, once you guys, and I'm not saying tell your business. I'm really not. I'm just saying, don't let the devil hold you back, because all it takes is to tell him, I saw you, I recognized you in my last relationship, and you ain't gonna do it again.
That's right.
That's all you're saying.
Yes.
That's all I gotta say.
And I think you speak that. You speak to that. And we have to learn to speak to prosperity. Speak to that very thing you want. In all sincerity from your heart, you speak that. And it's your heart. So, you know pretty well where you are in that whole scenario. I think you have to have an inkling of that. And no. Any other comments? Okay, well, I'm gonna move on because we getting close to the hour. One other thing I wanted to bring up is this. What love looks like from a prophetic point of view. This is what I want to say. Don't think that you, myself, or any of us, direct the course of love. For love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course. Love has no other desire than to fulfill itself. So when you love, you should not say, God is in my heart, but rather, I'm in the heart of God. So when we say, I'm falling in love, no, you're not falling, you're tripping. You don't fall in love. But love has a way of finding you. When you allow God to pour into your heart, He's saying, how did you get here? Did you find the love, or love actually says, I'm come to you, I invite you into me? And it's just thought. I see you thinking hard, Shelley. What do you think? Shall I read it again?
I love the way you put things, and it makes me think. It's I love it. I don't know. I know every other woman out here, we sit back and go, wow, I didn't look at things like that, or I've never heard it put that way before. So you just always have me go back, and I'm thinking like, wow, that was powerful. But say it again. You can say it again.
All right. All right, let's don't think you can direct the course of love.
Mm-hmm.
For love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course.
Mm-hmm.
Love has no other desire than to fulfill itself. So when you love, you should not say, God is in my heart, but rather, I'm in the heart of God.
Yeah.
So my thoughts a little bit on that. God is love, love is God. You can't contain the infinite. You can't contain the heart of God, the love that God is. He's ultimate. It's just too big. You can't bang an international, worldly, infinite love and bring it down into a small situation. You can't, if that makes sense. You cannot bring that. You have to allow it to find you. Now, this is something different, very different than what we're used to knowing or even hearing. But it is, like you said, Shelley, it's thought-provoking, very much so. So does anyone have a comment?
Yeah, that makes me think that not think, but knowing that we're in the heart of God, that brings us to a place of protection.
Yes.
And covering.
Yes.
So that when it is time for love to find us in the natural, we don't need to, and this is the ultimate, okay? We don't need to be in a place where we are afraid to love, to really just open up and be vulnerable and transparent, because the knowledge, the understanding, the awareness that we're in God's heart, and so we're protected and he's covering us. That allows us, I believe that is what allows us to just put it out there when it's the right person, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
To just be. That's just.
Yes. I mean, it's just so huge. It's a huge thing. When you talk about the love, it goes in so many directions because it's nothing that becomes smaller. It's always, and I know I've been saying that, it expands. And then when you're a vessel of that, what else can come out of you? Willing to allow that to come in, abide. That's when you become that vessel for God in the earthly realm, in the earth school. When we move, we're moving in that. If that makes sense. That's ultimate. What else can you get from me? You can't, because it abides. And all the stuff that was there that didn't look like him, I'm allowing him, Father, I'm the willing vessel to do what I need to do in the earthly school to glorify you in everything I do. And that is just an amazing revelation about this thing we call love. Tamara, you had a thought, look like.
Yeah, I have a thought. I said, basically, what you said just answered the question in regards to Noel and his 25 years and that woman. When God is prophetically, divinely invested in them, the world can go, what? Why? I can't believe it. They probably say the same thing. I can't believe I'm still standing in this. But God placed that love in them that made them stand still and walk through whatever he's working out of them. Because there was some things. He went through a divorce. She probably had some things from whatever. But that love is God's love.
Yeah.
That was it. They path was walking the same path. You answered. That's it.
Yeah.
It was God.
And if you watch that video of the proposal, the look on her face, like I was saying last week, it's as if they just met, they've been dating for a year.
Yes.
Woman had a glow and a look on her face on that stage, like he's just now proposing after a year of dating. She's been waiting all this time for that proposal. Whether we like it or not, because I personally didn't like it, and that's just my opinion, but I got it, you know. I got where it was, but it's a personal thing between them.
Yes.
The crack box proposal, everything he did, I saw in that snippet what their relationship was like. It's personal. It's a
Yes.
That's their walk. Like Tamara was saying, that's their walk. That's their whatever he put in them. That's what he wanted to put in them. And
yes,
you know, we might not like it. Back in Noah day, they didn't like what Noah was doing. They didn't like what Moses was doing. When God calls you, sometimes it just look crazy. It looked crazy.
Yeah.
To the rest of us, it looks absolutely insane.
Exactly.
Like Faith was saying, Faith said she would never do that.
25 years, right?
25 years.
Is that the movie, The Proposal you're talking about? Oh, you talking about Noel?
We're talking about Noel Jones.
Have you watched the proposing to her?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you see the video, watch the video of the proposal of him proposing to her. It's gonna put you through a lot of emotions. It takes you 25 years, Faith.
Do I want to watch it really?
It might make you upset.
Wait, I want to be like you said. I'm in my little circle with my pillars. Okay. And I don't want nobody to mess with me, right? Oh Lord, no.
It's not what we think, but I think that it had purpose for them too. It was through. So
Oh, it was cute. Okay.
it wasn't cute.
It was cute. For me. It wasn't cute.
To me, it was just 25 years. I need some horses coming out. I need to work.
He didn't get on his knee.
I mean, he's 70 something years old. He did, but it was like, bop, and he would back up.
Yeah.
Help me get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And I'm
energy.
not,
Help me get up.
The
I don't
energy.
sound like I'm judging. I'm in my mind, a 25-year investment. I would have wanted to see a little bit more, but again, their whole relationship has made all of us question why would not the proposal too? So
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I get, you know, and then some people, that's not what it is. You know, like some women, like they got to have a rock that it's so heavy, you know,
Right.
you put on your finger. Some don't care, you know, it could just, I mean, it's the thought, you know, it's the love in, you know, picking it and putting it on. Everybody got different things, but years is something I can get another ring 10 years down, make it look a little better than what I got now. But 25 years, no, that's you can't give me 25 years back.
Yeah.
I would have want my mama, my family. I mean, everybody flown in from whatever country they in.
A move.
25 years of me giving up my, because like he even said it, she couldn't have, you know, no kids. I mean, they couldn't have kids out of wedlock, you know, so it was like she gave up all those years that she could have had babies because she's younger than him. Bishop Knowles is in his 70s and she's younger than him, so she missed out on so many years of all, you know. I expected a little bit more from my bishop.
You know what? We have to I just got this and I'm like, okay, Holy Spirit. Right. You know, we are, and I'm gonna say, not you, Joe, but women, sisters, we are life givers, right?
Yeah.
And then when we go into these relationships, you know, we want to go in as partners, a partnership. Excuse me, my allergies are acting up. And so in this partnership, you have goals, he has goals, you have vision, he has vision, and somewhere that stuff intersects, right? Some women will sacrifice what their desire, let's say to have children or whatever, in order to be what she needs to be, that helpmate for her partner, mate, or whatever. They will personally sacrifice their own purpose and make his purpose their purpose and push everything about them to the back. Maybe that's what she did. I believe. I like how you put that. She got her own business and everything, but you know, we'll put it pause and we'll help our mates to help them get to where they need to be. Now, 25 years, she had to have helped him to be a better man, a better bishop, a better person holistically in order to be where he is now, unless he had a maid, a cook, or somebody do his clothes, or she was just there for support, to encourage him, to say, baby, you can do it, let me wipe your head off, or whatever she did. She did something to supplement what he didn't have.
Of course.
And if she gave up her dreams and stuff and made it, well, I'm gonna embrace your dreams and whatever you do, man of God, that's gonna bless me. That's gonna fulfill me. Maybe.
Correct.
I don't know.
Yeah. Now you start to see it, Faith.
No, that's not me. That's her. That is not me. I mean, I just can't see that. I mean, for me. Okay.
But I think Faith in all of that, though, I don't think she lost her own identity. I think she gave love, but even at the same time, she still was her own person. But like you say, I don't think 25 years, all that he became or becoming or to date was all about him. Because
No.
she was there.
Yeah.
And you know, she was there because he is asking her to marry. He know the value that she brought to him. This is just me talking, and he knew beyond a doubt that she was there, because she was always there from a support perspective. Behind the scenes, she, you know, when you have, and you gotta have, to me, you gotta have somebody you can dialogue with. You can bring things, and what do you think about this? And what about this thought?
Yeah, I agree. That's her.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah.
No. I'm saying that I believe that was her.
Yeah.
I mean, she was the one that he could be intimate with. He could that he could be transparent, and she knew all his flaws and all that stuff. And you know, she prayed for him and probably was his personal intercessor and all that. You know, she took him through went through all that.
Yeah,
I don't know why I feel like there's some undertone behind face.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably you too.
I think I felt that one too.
Yeah, that's right.
Between those lines, like
I think the 25 years is still sticking with her.
yes.
I think
She's trying to make it make sense, and she just like
that is a long time though.
That is a long time.
I have to agree with you
It
on that,
is.
son, babe.
Yes, it is.
I don't think I could do that one either.
Well,
I know
it's too late. It's
I
too
know
late
this
for
isn't
that.
helping at all, but I keep thinking about Abram and Sarah.
me
I
too.
mean, look,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
they waited what 20 up there, right?
Yeah,
She was what, 90? He was over 100.
100. She was 75. Something like that.
Well,
So they
yeah,
waited
you know,
about-
that's a good analogy too, because who did she said, no, I can't do it. So she gave him that other woman, right?
Porcupine. It's porcupine.
Yeah.
Call it.
Yeah.
But
She took things in her own hands.
Took matters into her own hands. Yeah.
Yeah, and that didn't work out. But
I can imagine her thinking, it's like, why you wait this long? I'm 99 years old.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do this when I was, you know?
Yeah. They
Well,
call everything's in God's timing and God's purpose.
it is.
Who knows
Yes,
what's gonna come out of this?
that's
But it's
true.
definitely food for thought.
Mm-hmm. I got a couple more things, and we'll wind down and call it a night. This love thing. Got three more things. Love possesses not, nor will it be possessed. Love does not bind. Love is sufficient unto love. And I want to say something about a mystic, and that could be any of us. The mystic looks at love as the goal, the center, and the energy. The mystic look at wholes, not parts. So that comes from a higher dimension of that person. It comes from the soul. And we really know that the soul is who we truly are. That's that conscious person. And in kind of closing, and I've said it before, genuine love will meet every human need. All of it. Because God is love, love is God. And we are in this month of love, but we have to do this year long. We have to live in love and forgiveness, and by some chance be forgiven. That's the place we want to be. Yeah. And I think even with us coming together in this setting and being open and allowing God to come into that place, or we allow the love, the openness I think we grow so much. It's always a takeaway. And I'm not saying it because I'm I can't say the word, facilitator tonight. It's just in all of this. I think when we bring love in this situation, again, it's always a takeaway. And I think we better than when we started and when we ended. We've grown, we become better. We come in one way and leave another way. And I hope we all leave with this thing of love in our hearts. I just want to thank everybody for allowing me maybe to impart some things. And in this session, we all are teachers. We all teach. We're all students. And it's good to do both sides, because the teacher and the taught together create the teaching, and love is the catalyst behind all of it. Does anyone have any closing remarks? Let's have closing remarks from Shelley. Let's do that. Can we do that?
Tonight was just another, how do you say, banger. I love it. Like everybody, tonight was just a eye opener of how we all feel and how we take this love thing. Just hearing, like I said, Miss Tracy's heart open up, and Miss Robin and everybody, Faith. It's a beautiful thing, when we open up and when we talk about love. Love is the greatest of all things. That's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
And so for us to sit here and continue every week to talk about it and express it, whether the good side of love, the bad side of love, like you said, love has so many different facets to it, so many different varieties of it. But we all got to figure out which one fits us, which one is for us. And once we get that, it's, first of all, like I said, it starts with us.
Yes.
So what we're doing here right now is for us. It's not for our mate. Well, it's for our mate, but we cleaning it up here. We cleaning it all up in here, cleaning it all up in here. So when God is ready to present us with that helpmate, with that person, we know what it's supposed to feel like, what it ain't supposed to feel like, what signs to look for. Like I said, when I first started this thing, with Miss Marilyn, I would have taken anybody. I was at that point where anybody to show me any kind of love, I was okay with that. Whether it came with baggage, red flags, triggers, I would have missed every last one of them if it had not been for me coming in here. So I appreciate the space. I hope everybody does appreciate the space. Sometimes we sound very repetitive, but I think it is for your good. Because when you do get into that relationship or you do start dating actively, you're going to remember every word that we say here. Because I'm telling you, I've heard Miss Marilyn's voice in my head in front of a date when he might say something. I'm going, oh, I remember somebody said that in the class. Nope, gotta go.
Yeah, that's right.
So it might sound repetitive. It might seem daunting, but this is this is part of your worship to him. This is part of your, saving souls and helping other people. This is our job. This is what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And whether it's a small space today or a big space tomorrow, it's worth it. Keep coming in. Like Miss Marilyn say, stay for the benediction. This is working. If it ain't working for you, I'm sorry. Maybe you just need to clean your ears out a little bit or something, but stick around. It's going to work itself out. It's going to work itself out.
Okay. And so in closing, I would just want to say again, thanking everyone. Also, thanking Merlin for allowing us to have the platform and me to facilitate tonight. I am honored and humbled by the opportunity to come in such a way that hopefully some hearts were touched. And I know mine was. So I'm going to say good night to everybody and be safe. Good night. Bye-bye.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.